X-ray vision.
Yeah.
It's like an X-ray. That's what you really see it in the negative only.
Right.
It's
right.
crazy.
It's like a negative. Yeah.
When actor and filmmaker Mel Gibson speaks about faith, the world listens. But this time, the conversation isn't just about belief. It's about science, artificial intelligence, and one of the most mysterious artifacts in human history, the Shroud of Turin. For centuries, the Shroud has baffled historians, physicists, and theologians alike. The faint image of a crucified man imprinted on the ancient linen has survived fires, wars, and relentless scrutiny. Some call it the burial cloth of Jesus Christ. Others insist it's a medieval forgery. Yet despite decades of testing, no one has been able to fully explain how the image was formed. Now, a new player has entered the investigation: artificial intelligence. Inside a powerful supercomputer, lines of code race across the screen as an advanced AI system examines millions of microscopic details from the cloth. It isn't simply searching for a face or bloodstains. It's analyzing fiber structure, image depth, chemical composition, looking for patterns hidden beneath the surface. Then, something unexpected happens. The system detects a repeating mathematical symmetry embedded within the image, a precise and structured pattern concealed beneath what the human eye can see. Researchers say this kind of complex symmetry would have been nearly impossible for a medieval artist to create. Even more puzzling, no known natural process has been able to replicate it. Now, scientists are left with a new question. If this pattern truly exists, what does it mean? Is it evidence of an unknown artistic technique, a rare physical phenomenon, or something that challenges our current understanding of history? The mystery of the Shroud isn't fading. In fact, with artificial intelligence now involved, it may be entering its most intriguing chapter yet. The mystery woven into the cloth continues to fascinate the world. The Shroud of Turin, a long strip of ancient linen, carries the faint and haunting image of a man who seems to have endured extreme suffering. For believers, it's a sacred relic. For skeptics, it's a brilliant medieval fake. And in a strange way, it's almost ironic. Humanity has landed on the moon and decoded the human genome, yet we still can't agree on the truth behind a single piece of fabric. For a while, it seemed like the mystery had been solved. In 1988, 3 independent laboratories performed radiocarbon dating on samples of the cloth. All of them reached the same conclusion. The fabric dated back to the Middle Ages, roughly between 1260 and 1390. It looked like the case was closed. But the story didn't end there. That's because the Shroud has always contained details that don't quite make sense. One of the most shocking discoveries happened in 1898 when an Italian photographer named Secondo Pia took the first photograph of it. When he developed the image in his darkroom, he was stunned. The photographic negative revealed a strikingly clear positive portrait of the man on the cloth. In other words, the image on the Shroud functioned like a photographic negative, centuries before photography even existed. That alone is enough to make anyone stop and wonder, how could that be possible? And the strangeness doesn't stop there. The image itself is incredibly shallow. It exists only on the outermost microfibers of the linen threads, with a depth of just a few hundred nanometers. To put that into perspective, a human hair is about 80,000 nanometers thick. The coloration doesn't penetrate the fabric like paint or dye would. There are no brush strokes, no visible direction, no signs of traditional artistry, just a faint surface-level image that seems to defy conventional explanation. It's almost as if the fibers themselves were changed at a chemical level, creating the color from within rather than having something applied on top. Scientists have tried for decades to recreate the effect. They experimented with heated statues, acidic substances, powdered pigments, and dust transfer techniques. Some methods produced images that looked similar at first glance, but none of them were able to reproduce all the unusual characteristics found on the Shroud of Turin. And then the mystery deepened even further. The image appears to contain accurate three-dimensional information. In the 1970s, researchers at the US Air Force Academy used a VP-8 image analyzer, a device originally developed for NASA to study planetary surfaces, to examine photographs of the shroud. What they discovered was astonishing. Unlike a normal photograph, where brightness and darkness are simply variations in light, the intensity of the shroud's image directly corresponded to distance. Darker areas, such as the tip of the nose, represented parts that would have been closer to the cloth. Lighter areas corresponded to parts that would have been farther away. When processed through the analyzer, the two-dimensional image produced a remarkably accurate three-dimensional relief map. No known painting or standard photograph has ever been shown to naturally contain that kind of spatial data. This is the paradox scientists have wrestled with for decades. Radiocarbon dating points to the Middle Ages, yet the image seems to contain properties that feel far beyond medieval capabilities. It's a contradiction that refuses to go away. Now, artificial intelligence has stepped into the discussion, and it hasn't just added another opinion. It has intensified the mystery. Researchers fed ultra-high-resolution digital scans of the shroud into advanced neural networks. These AI systems weren't programmed with religious beliefs or historical assumptions. Their purpose was simple: detect patterns. What they uncovered has left scientists puzzled. The AI identified what appears to be a hidden layer of structured information, faint geometric symmetries and repeating mathematical ratios distributed across the entire image. This pattern doesn't relate directly to the visible figure of the man. Instead, it resembles an underlying framework, almost like a watermark or a subtle blueprint woven into the fabric itself. At this point, the shroud is no longer just an image on cloth. It's becoming something far more complex, a mystery layered within a mystery. It's almost like a carefully structured data set rather than just an image. The AI confirmed the shroud's three-dimensional qualities, but with far greater precision than earlier tools. It revealed a level of mathematical consistency that would be nearly impossible for any forger to achieve. Even more intriguing, the system detected repeating patterns and alignments across the face, hands, and torso, all following a clear geometric logic. This doesn't look like the work of a human artist. It feels more like the result of an advanced process. Now, scientists are facing a deeply unsettling possibility. The world's most famous relic, the Shroud of Turin, might not just be an ancient object, but something closer to a complex piece of encoded information created by a process we still don't understand. Evidence for this hidden structure continues to grow. But the big question remains, what does it actually mean? To understand why the AI findings are so explosive, we have to go back to the carbon dating tests that once seemed to settle everything. In 1988, researchers removed a small sample from a single corner of the cloth. That sample was divided and sent to 3 of the world's leading laboratories, located in Oxford, Zurich, and Arizona. They used a highly precise method called accelerator mass spectrometry, which measures individual carbon-14 atoms to determine age. When all 3 labs independently concluded that the material dated firmly to the Middle Ages, the global media quickly declared the mystery solved. For many, the verdict was final. The shroud was officially labeled a medieval forgery. But almost as soon as the results were announced, doubts began to surface. Scientists who weren't involved in the original study started raising serious concerns. The biggest issue? The sample itself. The piece used for testing had been taken from one of the most handled and repaired areas of the Shroud of Turin. For centuries, the cloth had been displayed by holding it at the corners, exposing those areas to the most wear. It had also survived multiple fires. After a major fire in 1532, nuns repaired the damage and attached the shroud to a new backing cloth. The sampled corner sat right beside one of these repaired sections. A chemist named Raymond Rogers, who had been part of the 1978 Shroud of Turin research project, STURP, decided to take a closer look. He managed to obtain leftover threads from the 1988 test sample. What he discovered was remarkable. Under a microscope, the fibers from the tested sample looked chemically different from fibers taken from the main body of the cloth. The sample threads were coated with plant gum and even contained cotton fibers woven into them, while the rest of the shroud is made of pure linen. Rogers also detected traces of dye. His conclusion was groundbreaking. The carbon-dated sample likely wasn't part of the original cloth at all. Instead, it may have come from a medieval repair, a carefully done reweaving meant to restore damaged areas. It's like trying to determine the age of an ancient stone building by testing a modern patch of mortar. Naturally, you'd end up with a much newer date. This possibility cast serious doubt on the original carbon dating results. Since then, other studies using alternative techniques, such as vibrational spectroscopy and X-ray analysis, have suggested much older dates for the shroud. Some findings point back close to 2,000 years. One study estimated an age around 900 BC, give or take a couple of centuries, while others suggest a time frame closer to the 1st century AD. The challenge is that none of these alternative dating techniques carry the same widespread acceptance as carbon-14 testing. Because of that, the argument continues. The scientific community remains sharply divided. That's exactly why the AI findings have drawn so much attention. The artificial intelligence didn't rely on cutting a physical sample from the cloth. It completely sidestepped the controversy over the repaired corner. Instead, it focused on the image itself. The one element everyone agrees is the heart of the mystery. The patterns the AI detected aren't tied to how old the fabric is. They appear to be built into the way the image was formed. So even if someone accepts the medieval date as correct, a much larger question remains. How could a medieval artist, without any knowledge of photography, digital imaging, or nanotechnology, create an image that contains hidden geometric structures and precise three-dimensional data that we're only now able to detect using artificial intelligence? The level of precision is so extraordinary that some researchers have described it as a kind of spatial intelligence encoded directly into the fibers. It's a paradox. The AI didn't settle the dating debate. It made it almost beside the point. So, what exactly did the AI discover? It wasn't a hidden message or a secret signature. It was something deeper and far more unusual. The neural networks were designed to use a method called principal component analysis. In simple terms, this technique filters out noise and irrelevant details to uncover the most important patterns within massive amounts of data. When researchers applied this method to ultra-high-resolution scans of the Shroud of Turin, the visible image of the man almost faded into the background. What emerged instead was a structured field of information. The variations in light and dark across the image didn't just create the illusion of three-dimensional form. They followed a consistent mathematical relationship, a precise and predictable rule, almost like a physical law governing how the image behaves. Imagine a cloth gently laid over a body and some kind of energy radiating outward from that body. The areas where the fabric rests closest to the skin would receive the strongest effect, while parts farther away would be affected less. According to the AI analysis, this exact relationship appears across the entire Shroud of Turin with remarkable precision. That's not how light and shadow behave in a painting. An artist creates depth through technique and visual tricks. But this image doesn't just simulate depth. It seems to contain real depth information embedded within it. To fake something like this, a forger would have needed an extraordinary understanding of physics and mathematics and then executed it flawlessly at a microscopic level. It's an incredibly unlikely scenario, and the discoveries didn't stop there. The AI also detected faint repeating symmetries and mathematical ratios throughout the image. You can think of it like musical harmony. Just as certain notes sound beautiful together because of precise mathematical relationships, the AI identified geometric connections between different parts of the image. The spacing of the eyes, the proportions of the hands, even the curvature of the ribcage all appear to follow an underlying geometric framework. These patterns are completely invisible to the naked eye. They're buried beneath the texture of the woven fibers and centuries of wear and damage. But when analyzed digitally, the structure becomes clear, revealing layers of order hidden deep within what once seemed like visual chaos. To make sure this wasn't just a technical error, or the AI seeing patterns where none existed, researchers ran a series of control tests. They fed the system images of other ancient linens and historical artworks. The result was clear. The AI found no comparable geometric structure in any of them. The pattern appeared to be unique to the Shroud of Turin. That realization carries huge implications. It suggests the image may not have been formed through simple physical contact. If a body had been pressed directly against the cloth, the result would likely be smeared, uneven, and distorted. Instead, the data points towards something very different, an image formed by some kind of force or energy that transferred information onto the fabric without direct touch. Scientists have proposed several theories to explain this. One idea is the corona discharge theory, where a strong electrical field surrounding a body could create an image on nearby cloth. Another theory suggests a brief but intense burst of radiation, possibly ultraviolet light, that effectively burned the image into the outermost fibers of the linen. The challenge is that no experiment has successfully reproduced all the shroud's unique properties. Some attempts have recreated the shallow, surface-level nature of the image, but they fail to match the precise three-dimensional information or the hidden geometric structure. When you really think about it, the mystery is astonishing. We're looking at an image that is physically fragile, only nanometers deep, yet informationally complex enough to preserve intricate details for centuries. It's a combination that still defies complete explanation. One physicist described it in a simple but powerful way. This doesn't behave like a normal artifact, it behaves like a phenomenon. And if we're really dealing with a phenomenon rather than just an object, then the question becomes much bigger. What kind of phenomenon could create something like this? At this point, the mystery moves beyond a scientific puzzle and into something far more thought-provoking, maybe even a little unsettling. If the AI analysis is correct, and there truly is a hidden mathematical order within the image on the Shroud of Turin, then we're left with a few possibilities. And all of them are astonishing. So let's think about it together for a moment, like trying to solve a mystery at home. What are we really looking at? What could this hidden geometric structure actually represent? Could it be the trace of a lost technology, an unknown law of nature, or something entirely beyond our current understanding? We'd love to hear what you think. Share your thoughts below. And if you enjoy exploring mysteries like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more.